partial fraction, what matters most is the denominator. So what I mean by the denominator is the guy at the down here, right? The guy at the down, you are having x minus 2 as well as s plus 3. So this is the most important thing you have to pay attention to in partial fraction. Let's look at this question and see how to solve that. We are having 3 minus 2s divided by s minus 2 as well as s plus 3. They say you should express this thing in a partial fraction form. So the word partial here means that part of something, right? We are taking part of certain things. So assuming I give you an amount of let's say 50 in whatever currency, is that okay? So maybe let's say $50 here, and then I'll ask you to share that among just two people, and then suppose the first person takes $20 here, automatically the next person will take what, 30, right? So this is exactly how you are doing. So you call this one part of the money, so partial part of the money. Now let's say in this partial fraction, because of the variable here, what I mean by the variable, because of this x here, is that we don't know exactly whatever is here, so we cannot determine that they are sharing a certain amount of money at the top here, but we know exactly that this is what we are going to share this thing among these two guys here. So for that reason, let's name the first person A, because we don't know the amount that that person will take, and then the second person also what, B, right? But we know that this is what they are sharing in all. Okay, now as I say earlier, you have to pay close attention to the denominator. So for this case, the guy that will be at the top here will just be A, right? The A here can be what, any number, right? Maybe in my scenario it can be any amount, as well as the guy here can also be what, B. The reason is that the denominator here, what I mean by the denominator, the guy at the down here has no square, right? This is just a straightforward. So maybe mathematically this is a linear, right? It doesn't have either x squared, s exponent 3, s something like that. This is just a straightforward things that we are dealing with, right? So x minus 2 as well as s plus 3. So we are splitting this guy into two parts. Okay, so now let's see how to, you have to be familiar with how to solve a fraction that is 1/2 plus maybe 3/4, right? So this thing you need to find the LCM, that is the least common multiple here, as well as if it is plus or minus, you need to find what, the LCM, that is what, the least common multiple. Okay, so here you can see that I'm having the first winner and the second winner, so we are splitting, we are sharing this thing here among two people, right? So this is the first winner, this is the second. So let's see what the first winner takes and what the second winner also takes here. So how do you do that? So as I say earlier on, you have to focus on what, the right hand side here, right? This guy here. So this is a fraction, so for that reason you must find out the LCM among the two. So what will be the LCM here? The least common here, you see this guy, we don't know the x, right? We don't know the s, so let's repeat these two guys as well, our LCM. So what happened? So what happened here is that you find your LCM to be what, x minus 2 s plus 2. What I'm having is what has been given to us from the question. Okay, so here the LCM will be what, s minus 2 and s plus 3. You can see that at the top here we have what, this guy will cancel that. So let me explain, let me break it down. So assuming I'm having 1/2 here plus let's say 1/3, the LCM among these two guys here will be 6, right? So the least common multiple, if you don't know how to find the least, just comment down below. So the least common multiple here will be 6, right? So 2 will go into this is how many times? That should be 3, right? So the 3 here multiplied by the top one, which is multiplied by what, by 1, right? So 2 will go into this is the LCM, that is 3 here, and then the 3 will multiply the top one, so plus here too, the 3 will go into this one 2 and then multiply by the top one, that is what, 1. So exactly what we are doing here. So here we are having the LCM to be x minus 2 and then s plus 3. So this guy here, look at something, this guy, the LCM, you're having these two guys to be the LCM. So among this one here, this guy, the x minus 2 will go into all the LCM, they will cancel out, right? So one of these guy will cancel, so you are left with only this one. Okay, so that is how I got the a multiplied by what, x plus 3. So what I mean by this is the LCM. This is the LCM. So the LCM is what, x minus 2 and the s plus 3. Out of this one, so this guy here will go into this. The two of them will cancel, because this guy will cancel out, this guy will go away, as well as this guy will go away. So we are left with only this one, right? So this guy here is what I'm having, the x plus 3 here, and then multiply by the top one, that is what, a here. So that is how I got my one, a into bracket s plus 3. So the same way here you see that this guy here, the s plus 3 will go away, right? The s plus 3 will go away, and then we are left with x minus 2, and then multiply by the top one, which is the b here, right? So I got my b into bracket x minus 2. Now what do? You see, we want the a and the b. Is that okay? That is our focus here. Our focus here is to know this guy as well as this guy here. So what do? Since we want only the top, this top guy, so let's equate the top one, right? So equate the top one, meaning that this guy here, 3 minus whatever is at the top here, we should equate that to the top. So top to top, right? So equating the top to top, right, into bracket, we are equating the what, numerators. So numerators are those that are on top here. So I have what, 3 minus what, x here is equal to a into bracket s plus 3, and then plus b into bracket s minus 3. So what do? We want to know this guy a here. We want to know the b, right? So how do you do that? So in this case, you just have to pick one of the what, the bracket here, right? You just have to pick one of the bracket. So one of the bracket means that this guy, one of them has to be 0, so that I can easily solve this one. So if you guys are 2 and then one person is no more there, you can easily determine what the next person. Okay, for that reason, let's solve this one bracket here, right? So I'm having what, x minus 2 here to be equal to 0, right? Meaning that s is equal to 2. Is that okay? The reason I want this one to go away, right? I want this guy to be 0, so that I can easily solve this one. Okay, so after solving it, I had my s to be 2, meaning that I'm going to put s into equal to 2 into everything here, right? Everything here, whatever I see the x, I will place that by 2. Okay, so look at something. I have 3 minus 2x here, meaning that s is equal to 2. So 3 minus 2 into bracket 2, that is equal to a is already here. So wherever that I see the x here, s is 2. So 2 plus or plus 3, right? We are just replacing the s by 2 plus b into bracket 2 minus 2. You see that this 2 here is where the x is. Okay, so straightforward, you can see that this guy will be what, 2 minus 2, that should be 0, right? 0 multiplied by b, that's still also 0. You can see that the b goes away. Is that okay? So the b goes away here. So here we can focus on this part here. So here gives me what, 3 minus 2 into bracket, that should be what, here will be 5, right? 2 plus that should be 5. So this one gives me 5a. Okay, so on the left hand side, I'm having what, 3 minus what, 4 here, that should be what, minus 1. So that's how I got a minus 1, negative 1 equal to 5a. So we are looking for a. Remember that we are looking for a, right? So you divide both sides by 1 by 5. That gives me what, a to be equal to 1 over what, minus 1 over 5, right? So this is the what, the value of a. So the same we have to find for what, the b. So how do you get a b? For you to get a b, since from this part we want this, we equated this guy to 0, right? That is what we did here. So we equated this guy to 0, so this guy here on top here to 0. So now we want this one, so you have to equate the one in bracket here to 0. Okay, so if you equate the second one to 0, you are going to have s plus 3 is equal to 0, meaning that s is equal to negative 3, right? Taking this 3 to the right hand side, or you can subtract 3 from what, both sides. So we are having the s to be negative 3. So wherever you see the x, you put what, negative 3. Remember that we are dealing with only the top one, right? So we had what, 3 minus 2 into bracket. The x was here, so here will be what, minus 3, and then here too you're having the a to be what, minus 3 plus 3 here, right? So wherever you see the s, you put on minus 3 here. So you can see that this guy goes away. So minus 3 plus 3 will be 0 here, right? So here should be what, 0. So 0 times this is still 0. So you are going to deal with only this guy. So here I got what, my 3 plus 6, that should be equal to b minus 5, right? B minus 5 here will give me what? So 9 here will be 9. So 9 is equal to what? minus 5b. So divide both sides by minus 5. I had my b to be what? Minus 5 what? So sorry, minus 9 what? Over 5. Is that okay? Remember how you replace this guy. So at the beginning of the video, this is what you're having, right? This is exactly what you are. So wherever you see the a here, you put the value of a there. Wherever you see the b there, you put the value of b there. So meaning that at the end of what the division or what we are sharing, a had what? Minus 1 over 5, and then b had what? Minus 9 over 5, right? Remember the denominator still remain the same. Is that okay? So if you want to rewrite this, you should have something like minus 1 over 5 into bracket s minus 2. So the same thing is happening here. Okay, look at this type of question. So you have another interesting question here with a denominator to be what? A quadratic, right? So this is what we call what? A quadratic. Unlike the first one, look at the denominator that we are having. So here we had of this guy here. Is that okay? But here you are giving a denominator to be equal to something like this. Look at the guy here. You're having x squared plus 5s minus 6, right? So how can you solve this? So the key here is that you have to solve this guy first by what? A factorization method, right? So you have to use what? A factorization what? Method here, right? So if you don't know how to solve this quadratic, so comment down below. Is that okay? So if you solve this quadratic first, then you should have two factors. So the two factors should be what? S plus 6 as well as s minus. If you are having a different answers, just make it in the comment section below, right? So with this one, you can use the same procedure that we used to solve this problem and solve the question nicely. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the video also. Thank you for watching this.